Hello, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. In this video, I'm going to talk about fierce self-love, which to me is a particular flavor of self-love. I think you can get the feeling for it in the name, fierce self-love. And it's a self-love that really stands up for yourself. It's a self-love that sets boundaries. It's a self-love that says no. And so I want to talk about how to incorporate this aspect of self-love in your life, because as you probably know, self-love is incredibly important. What we feel we deserve and what we declare that we deserve or that we're worth is what we create in our reality. So it's really important to have incredible self-love to manifest. And so we're going to dive into fierce self-love in this video. Before I jump in, please make sure you're subscribed to my channel in the corner or below. Also know that I offer lots of self-study manifesting courses. There are 12 courses linked down there. I can help you manifest anything you want, so you can have a look below. And I also do a weekly giveaway. This giveaway is for a bundle of 3 ebooks that I wrote. The way to enter into the contest is to subscribe to my channel, to like this video, and to comment below. And I'm going to be giving away 6 people this week because I missed last week. Okay, so let's jump into this. Fierce self-love. I did a live video earlier this week. I will link it up there if you want to watch it afterwards. And the topic of fierce self-love came up. And probably, I don't remember the exact context, but it was something along the lines of setting boundaries with a specific person, or being treated in a particular way that someone didn't really like. And somehow the topic of fierce self-love came up, and I realized that I've never really talked about this on my channel. So what is fierce self-love? Why is it important? And why is it kind of tricky when it comes to law of attraction? Because I'll start there. We have been taught that with law of attraction, you only want to embody the felt experience of the end result. And so clearly, if fierce self-love is no, I don't like that, I don't want that, that clearly is not the end result, right? That's not the end result that we want. However, fierce self-love is still incredibly important. I have experienced it in my own life where fierce self-love has really changed my relationships. And so I want to talk about why that is. So first, what I consider fierce self-love, I just really made up that name. I don't think that's like a term that other people use, but what fierce self-love is, and in particular what it is in a relationship dynamic, is you coming into your no, hell no, sometimes, absolutely not, about particular treatment that you get from a specific person or from really anyone in your life. So essentially it's coming into an inner experience of, no way, I will not be treated this way. This is not working for me. This will not work for me. It's a no. It's a very strong inner no. Now, fierce self-love can be a lot of other things, but this is kind of a cornerstone experience of it. It's like the inner no. That's like, oh, hell no, I will not be treated this way. Now, why is this important, and why does this still work for us to help us manifest our desires? Since again, we're supposed to live in the end. We're supposed to embody the end result. The no is not the end result. However, there's a couple things that are really important about learning to get in touch with your fierce no, your fierce self-love, the part of you that is protecting yourself and saying, I will not be treated this way. So one of the things about fierce self-love, how it really helps us define who we are and who we want to be in relationship, is when you come into your no, like, no, I will not be treated that way. Let's give an example to put it in context. Let's say that you text your specific person and they don't text you back for 2 weeks. And then when they text you back, they like want a booty call or something like that. Now, for me, that would be a hell no. That would be a hell no. So that's where my fierce self-love would come into the picture. Now, That doesn't mean that I would necessarily say to my specific person, hell no. It's just my own inner hell no. So why is this important? Like, why do we need to be doing this, especially if we're getting treatment that we don't like from someone? The first reason is when you start defining what your absolute no is, you get a lot clearer on what your yes is. You get a lot clearer on this is how I will be treated and this is not how I will be treated. Okay, so that's number one. It's just obvious. Like when you start getting super clear on like what works and what doesn't work, what does work starts to become more clear with these strong no's. And everyone's going to have a different no. Certain things are going to be okay for you that aren't okay for someone else. That's okay. There's no standard. It's your own personal standard. But you have to pay attention to, am I being treated in a way that feels good to me? Am I being treated in a way where I feel respected? At the very least, I feel respected, and hopefully I feel cherished. I feel honored. I feel revered. You know, these are the ways we should feel in relationship, right? So that's one. When you get clear on your no, you can start to get really clear on your yes. Another piece of this fierce self-love and why it's so important is when you start declaring how you will not be treated, and again, whether you're declaring it outwardly to someone or not is actually irrelevant. Because what you're really doing is you're declaring to yourself that is no longer the version of yourself that you are going to be. And this is the most important part. This is really what it's all about. When it comes to setting boundaries with your specific person, you can set them or not set them. You can tell them to like go to hell or not. Like that's all your choice, what you say to them or what you don't say to them. That's all up to you, you know? And of course, just depending on, or, you know, it just depends on the circumstance. Who knows what the boundary needs to be? Maybe doesn't even need to be harsh. Maybe it's just a no. Maybe it's a soft no, whatever. But it doesn't matter what you're saying to them so much as what you're saying to yourself. Because remember, it's your self-concept that is manifesting your reality. And I'm telling you, if you become a person who has particular standards and you're like, these standards have to be met, or you, my specific person, or you, anyone else, can't have access to me, or we can't be in relationship, that's not gonna work for me. That's not how I roll. That's not how I operate. When you start embodying that, your own standards, then you start manifesting a reality where people start adhering to your standards. They start molding and shaping to your standards, or only people who actually are in alignment with your standards are the ones that come in and stay in your reality. So this is the biggest piece I feel of fierce self-love. It's yes, you know, it may look like you're saying no to another person, but what you're actually doing is saying no to yourself. No, I will not allow myself to be treated this way anymore. This does not work for me. And you're declaring that. And as you declare that, you step into a new embodiment of who you are and who you are meant to be. Now, I know this firsthand. I've had experience with this. I can give you a little story about that. So when I was leaving a relationship in my recent past, I mean, not super recent, a couple years ago, I was leaving a relationship, and in particular in that relationship, I felt like my partner at the time, who I actually still dearly love, and he's a close friend of mine, and like I've worked through all the resentment that I did had. But at the time in our relationship, it felt like his energy with other women was just kind of open, and he kind of allowed other women into his field while we were together. It wasn't that he cheated on me, but it was just something, it just did not feel good to me. It was like other women could be around, maybe friends or whatever, and it felt messy, and it did not feel good to me. So what happened? I developed a really strong internal hell no. Oh, hell no. That's not gonna work for me. And I'm sure I said that to him many times, and then eventually we did break up, and like I said, we actually are in a very loving space just as two people. We did have a beautiful relationship, but this piece was totally off for me. So I felt the hell no. And what happened? I was like so strong in that no, so strong in that fierce self-love, like that will not fly with me. I also got very clear on what would fly. What would fly was a man who was only into me. All of his energy was coming towards me. All of his attention was coming to me. He was entirely devoted to me. He was fiercely into me. It got me, that no inside of me got me so clear that is the only thing I'll accept. And if it is not that, it is not welcome in my reality. What happened? It's like 6 weeks later, a guy came in who was that energy, and he had such good boundaries in our entire relationship with other women. That just was like never a problem. So this is an example of how fierce self-love can really strongly change your reality. In particular, if you are someone who tends to take on that is your fault, or you tend to suppress your feelings, or you don't speak up for yourself, or you don't stand up for yourself, that could be an indication that you want to implement some experiences of fierce self-love. And the way to start to use this to manifest is figure out, what are your boundaries? What are your absolutely not, no, that is not allowed in my reality? And figure out what that is. Write that down. Get clear on it. It's going to help you get clear on what do I want in my reality? You could also write that down as well. And then here's the big piece, and this is really important. This is really, really important. You have to follow through. Like if you're holding fierce self-love for yourself, and then someone comes, your SP shows up, and they're still kind of like doing the same thing, you have to choose you. I will not be treated this way. I will not be treated this way. You uphold that standard for yourself. It has to manifest in the outer reality, okay? Thank you guys for being here with me in this video. I love being here with you. I'm happy that I'm back from my break, and yes, back to daily videos. So I will see you soon. Bye.